Start a pitch deck. How to create a pitch deck for funding. In my two previous videos, in the first one, I had explained how to plan your startup at the design table level. What are the elements needed so that it will come realistic and fit, directly tackling a problem. Second, in the second video, I have explained how to write business plans. Now, if both these documents are ready, you are very clear about your startup and what problems are you going to solve and what kind of support do you need and where do you want to take your startup, in the next 5 years. Now comes the funding stage. You in the startup journey, there are different levels of funding, starting with probably angel funding or seed funding, the funding that you need to create your startup, the collaterals and technology and the people that is needed. And then the next one is the stabilization funding, and then that is a Series A funding. Then you can go for upscaling, which is Series B funding. Like that, the funding series goes. So what a startup deck does for you is it is a very short, form of your startup plan as well as your business plan, the market studies that you have done. When you go to the funders, either in a startup pitch deck competition or approaching certain VCs or angel capital people, or venture capitalists, you will not get a lot of time. That is the first thing that you need to understand. So within that 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the meeting time that you get, you have to send across the message, the potentiality of your startup and how well prepared you are to take the startup and execute it properly and achieve success. Now, the funders will always look into two things, one or three things. One, the people involved in the startup, their ability and their potential and their background. Second, are they prepared to take up the risk of starting something and also growing it on a long-term basis? Because fundings normally happens, these are not loans, short-term loans, these are long-term associations, and you will also need funding along the way, for the first 5 years or 10 years till your startup becomes a sizable entity. Hi, my name is Martin. I work as the head of the training, and I'm an author of 2 books, Positive Selling and Basic Intelligence Development, both available on Amazon. I'm a business and personal growth as well. So, in this webinar, I'm going to take a realistic but hypothetical example in order to demonstrate how should you prepare your startup deck. So a pitch deck is a short summary that explains the problem, people who face the problem, root causes, solutions, implementation steps, resources needed, business model, revenue generation plan, marketing plan, funding requirement, where the funds will be used, and equity offered to the investors. You necessarily don't have to include all these elements into your startup deck, because it is going to be, it should not be more than a 10 slider or a max to max a 15 slider deck. So it has to be crisp and clear. But the support collaterals like the market studies that you have done and the planning and your business plan need to be also ready with you, because once the pitching is done, if some of the funders wants to meet you and see your plan in detail, you need to have that ready with you. So in this hypothetical example, I am taking the issue of lack of access to good growth coaches. So you are a startup, have come found out this idea, come across this problem of people lacking in guidance, that is quality guidance, whether it is related to their business or related to their life problems. So there are a lot of life coaches and also business coaches, etc. But quality and consistency is lacking. That is what you have found. So the problem that you have defined is lack of access to good, growth coaches. So what is your target market? The target market is, you have chosen 4, verticals. One is professionals, people working in different corporates at different levels, right from the junior or entry level up to the senior level people. Second, you have identified businessmen as your target market. Third is corporates. Now, the difference between corporates and professionals, the first category is, in the first category, people individually would like to access coaching for their spending their own money. But in the corporate segment, the corporate is ready to upscale or upskill their workforce and their manpower. Therefore, they want to spend and create coaching programs for their people. Now, finally, the last segment that I have identified is students. So once you are settled with this, five, segments, your target. Now, the solution that you're going to offer is part one, an easy to use global online coaching platform with top-notch coaches. And then you are going to offer one-to-one coaching. Third, you are going to offer daily coaching. Now, this is something that is lacking, in today's world. Even when you have a coach, available there, you don't get a lot of time from the coaches. So your differentiation that you're going to show is you will make this coaching, the conversation between the, coachee and the coach taking place on a daily basis. The solution, after the solution is defined, you're going to show how you're going to acquire your customers, in which way, and what is the traction going to be like. So here you're saying that in year 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in hundreds of thousands, you're saying in the first year there's going to be no traction at all, because the first year you're going to build your business, that is your business model, and also executing your business model, making your minimum viable product, and also starting to acquire the first business, doing market studies and customer analytics and competitive analysis, etc. So you're not showing anything. But in the second one, you're stating that in the second one probably you will start around say 1,000 customers, that is from different segments. And in the third year, you're saying you might probably have around 3,000 customers. And in the fourth year, 5,000 customers. And in the fifth year, you're targeting for, say, around 20,000 customers. And the three lines that shows is the three segments that you have chosen. Even though you have four segments, you have kept the fourth segment, which is a student segment, for a later stage. First, you want to attack the working professionals because they have affordability. And second, you have you're targeting the businessmen, and they have requirement as well as affordability. And third, you are attacking the corporates. They're also the requirement and affordability is self-explained. So you have shown how you will achieve your traction for the next 5 years. Now comes how you are going to execute your marketing strategy. For you in this particular business model, it's a three-pronged strategy that you can use. One is for working professionals, you can take online marketing, that is digital marketing in all ways, like Google AdWords or your social media marketing or your influencer marketing, etc. But for businessmen, your strategy is going to be tie-ups with the trade bodies, because that is where the businessmen are mostly available. They have meetings and they have networking platforms, like IFI or similar bodies in India and abroad as well. There's so many bodies. And it is essential for business people to be a part of those meetings, and in order to move their agenda, meet their partners. So you're going to get tied up with those bodies and attract people for your customers for your coaching platform. The third segment again is tie up with companies. Here you might be probably utilizing a business development team, which will be approaching corporates one-to-one after creating appointments, and then going and giving presentation about what kind of coaching are you going to offer and how it is going to help their people, their workforce. One in the form of their upskilling, second in the form of the confidence. So there are different topics that you might be having for different verticals, and those topics topics that you will highlight. And also you will get in connect with as many corporate or companies as possible with the help of your business development team. So there are three different verticals, but you're taking three different strategies. One is online marketing, second is tie-ups, but that is at the trade body level. But third is you're utilizing your business development team to go company to company, probably cold calling, and then approach the HR departments and get people enrolled for the company, contracts. So this is a contract basis. You will get bulk business, here. When you're getting, one-to-one business in the working class professionals category and one-to-one again in the business class category, there is a possibility of you getting bulk from trade bodies as well if you offer discounts and things. But the coaching is going to be always one-to-one. But in the corporate segment, you can have group coaching also, because if there are teams that all together wants to achieve a certain goal and they want coaching, from your say platform, they can always avail your service. Now, the competitor, so you have you have done your competitor analysis and your market studies and your market share. Okay, how many people, how many players are already there and what are they doing, and how are they doing it? And now you have chosen out of hundreds of competitors out there, you have chosen the top 4 competitors that matches the product or the services that you are offering. So one is ICF, International Coaching Federation, and second is ABT International. Now these two are international platforms and international coaching. They offer to a global audience. And again, then you have Udemy and Superprof. Even though they are from India, but they try to reach out to international audiences as well. So through this slide, you're trying to tell your investors that you are very, very well aware of what is happening out there in the market, and you are totally prepared, and you have your strategies in place how to face this competition and get the share of your business that you're looking for as per your projections and the numbers that you have planned already. Next is to show about your team. So in this particular case, there are 3 founders. A is a founder who acts as CEO, who must have probably come out with this idea, and who must be clear or having working experience in the field of coaching or training or places like that. It is important to have a photograph as well, since it is a hypothetical situation. I have not displayed the photograph. And if you want, you can put your age, as well, because the investors would like to know what is the age group of the, your team. So in this example, in the team, there are 3 people. Okay, there is a core team of 3 people as of now. So all the 3 of them are founders. A is the founder, and B is the co-founder and CTO, who is the Chief Technology Officer. Now, since it's an online coaching platform, it is very important for you to have a person who is well versed in technology and have a number of years of experience, at least 5 years of experience in coding and various various technology platforms, languages, and whether it is web development or whether it is platform development or whether it is server management or networking, network management, etc. The total IT person. So if you're having such a person in this scenario is very essential, because it's a technology product that you're going to create. So a person who is well versed in technology, is going to play a major role here, and you have access to one. That means that is a thumbs up. That will be thumbs up from the investors, provided they will also verify the background of the all the 3 of you and study your credentials and whatever you have achieved so far. Co-founder C is the CEO, that is Chief Content Officer. A content officer is also a very well-played card here, because since coaching is a content-oriented game, you need to have everybody is offering similar contents. For example, when it comes to communication skills, there are hundreds of companies offering different communication skills programs. But how is your communication skills programs different? How it is unique? What is the approach? How the approach is different? How are you going to get the results? And how fast can you upskill people or help people? So that is all the content game all about. So you have a person who's in charge of the content. Is also a thumbs up. So here it shows it's a very well balanced team, and this is how the team should look like. All the 3 people from the same field might be a let down for the investors, and also a lot of senior people in the team will also be a let down, because VCs always look for age as a criteria, and they always want youngsters for the obvious reasons of they have more energy, more ambition, and they are ready to put in a lot, as much effort as possible to make the dream happen, and they are risk takers as well. So this is a well balanced team. So you can create a team in a slide like this. Now comes the investment and the funding requirements. What are the funding requirements that you have as of now? Now, in this example, this company is at the seed, funding stage. That means they need funding to create their infrastructure, probably creating coaching modules or creating an IT platform, or purchasing equipments for video shooting, and having a studio for the shooting purposes, etc. This is these are places where they need the money, and also probably a workplace, either say a co-working space or their own space, depending upon how the traction goes and how many number of people, how soon they want the team to grow. So in this particular company is at the seed stage, so that means they are saying that for the 5 years, their revenue requirement projection is in the first year in 100,000s. They are saying they might need 100K in the first seed funding stage, and in the second stage, they want that is probably after a year, they want around 300K. And then they want around 500K in the third stage, and they are looking for for the upscaling and scaling up process. They are looking for around 300,000K. You can put the kind of currency you want. If you are an Indian company, you can put in terms of rupees, or if you are an international company, you can put in terms of dollars. But it is always advised that you put the currency in terms of dollars, because even Indian funding companies or venture capitalists prefer it that way. So you have given them a projection of your revenue requirements. So, and finally comes the equity offer for the investment that you are asking. How much is it that how much of the equity is it that you are willing to share? Now, this is also a part of your startup planning program. You need to have a very clear-cut idea of how are you going to utilize your stakes. Now, this startup has decided that they will use 70% of their equity for funding. That means only 30% they will keep for the founders, this, and also probably for ESOPs and in the form of sweat equity, etc. But a large chunk, which is 70%, they would want to use. So this shows their intention of one is their growth strategy. Second is their they always want to take that startup route of funding, and they want to grow unlimited in the coming years once things are in place. So they are saying that for the seed funders, they are ready to share 15% of equity. And then when it comes to Series A, they are ready to share 10%, and for Series B, they are ready to share 5%. 10% again, and for Series C, again they are ready to share 15%. Now, if you add up the percentages, it comes to 25 plus 30 plus 20, 50%. There is still 20% left that they have kept for the funding that they can use for their future funding plans, either when venturing out, coming out with new products or tie-ups and all. And that's a wise plan, as well. You need to have a long-term, vision for your startup and how you are going to utilize your equity, along the way. If you are utilizing a major stake of your, share of equity in the seed level itself, you will not have any equity left for your upscaling and scaling up and growth stage. So you can utilize this model or somewhere similar to this to show your what you're ready to willing to share to the investors. So this is by and large the presentation is all about. You can go through my previous presentations as well. Then finally, you have to put your contact details in simple way. So you can put your telephone number. One telephone number is enough, and then you can put your email address and you can put your website. It is always good to have a website before you go for funding, because your website is going to illustrate the plan very well. Thank you so much for watching.